Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Space Engineers on Planets, with Planets, whichever it's called. And I've been expanding my base, as you can probably see. I've put these flat now and expanded them out, so there's something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 16 panels on here, and that kind of helps. I built a couple more batteries, now I've found silicon, and, well, I plan to extend the base. The only problem is I don't want to weld all that by hand, so it's kind of a good time to maybe think about a small welding ship at least. Not a large one, just a regular small one. And there's a few things I intend to do for that, so let's just clear out some of our toolbar. Yeah, so we are going to need the light armor block, and we're going to need... I'm going to use a rover cockpit. This is the first time we've really used the cockpit, so that's quite... it's a modded item, so straightforward to find in the workshop. Just type rover cockpit, and it should give us really good visibility for this one. We're also going to need welders. These are the default ones, but I want the higher range ones, if I've got them. Twin welder? I think those are the high range ones. Yeah, there's lots of others as well, but at least the modded kind. But I'm going to go for those, and we'll come back if we don't need those. I'm going to need conveyors. Small conveyors, in fact, because it's going to be a small ship again. Small conveyor. Well, that's the small conveyor tube. Small conveyor tube, and let's just put down. Helps if I. Wow. Helps if I click the right thing. Let's just put it down out here, because this is where it's going to be working after all. Yay! So, do I have many components? I don't. So that is a good opportunity to show the mod that I'm using. So you see, I've got this new cargo can, and it's not because this big cargo can isn't big enough, because trust me, it is. But if we have a look at the name of it, let me just delete that for a second. This is what you get the name as by default, you know, small cargo container. And if we look at the inventory, currently that's got a lot of stuff in it. Let me just get rid of, in fact, let me just get some of this back. Let me just put everything back in the large cargo container. So I have automatic inventory sorting mod. That's one of the ones in the workshop. Again, you can search for that, straightforward. And in here I can rename this, and if I rename it correctly, it will sort everything I need into this particular cargo can. In this case, I'm going to use it as a container for ingots. Sorry, these things. I don't want them in the main larger cargo can, because that's probably where I'm going to be looking for all of my components. So if I just rename this, I think that should be enough. If it's ingot and not ingots, I didn't see it before. Ah, yes, there it is. So it's automatically moved all the ingots after they're processed by the refinery into here. So as you can see, it's a tiny amount, because this cargo can, even though it's a small one, holds 156,000 litres. Because I'm on 10 times inventory size, just bear that in mind, you'll only have a tenth of that if you're on regular. So that helps just keep everything ordered, and I may well put another cargo can here, possibly for ores, because that's the other way of doing. That's the other thing that clutters up the main cargo can. I'll get rid of some of these accessory tools. So, you know, stone and anything that won't fit in the refinery. They're currently about half full. In fact, I can just drag that in there for now. Once this gets full, and it will do because I'll keep mining, you can then keep them in a separate cargo can. Just bear that in mind. Anyway, what I was here for is just to grab some miscellaneous components. I want some computers, maybe some metal grids, maybe some bulletproof glass, because it's a cockpit, remember, so cockpits do require glass. And power cells, I do want them, but I'll come back for those because they're really heavy. So, well, let's introduce the cockpits. Unlike the flight seats, the cockpit tends to have a few more requirements when I don't build a huge block too far. It has more requirements. In particular, you need to supply air to the cockpit. Even though you can't open the cockpit and just breathe the atmosphere, you kind of have to go a bit further than that. So this thing is actually pretty large. And is this far enough up? I wonder. Yeah, I'll probably put this a bit further up, because even though it may not need it, it'll be useful to be able to see it like this. And I'm going to need to refill this hydrogen. Still haven't found silver, by the way, or uranium for that matter. So, yeah, boo me. And that's still not enough bulletproof glass. Oh, is that functional? No, it's not functional yet, so I do need 20 more bulletproof glass. Let's just grab them from in here. There we go. And this, again, as its name suggests, is normally used for rovers, but it's got a really large amount of visibility inside. If I head inside for a second and hold down Alt, I can look around. And you see I have all these windows. I don't have any lamps yet, which I'm going to need to be able to see anything. But you see all of this room we've got inside the cockpit to look around. So it's a really cool modded item. Just bear that in mind. But you should see oxygen on the bottom left is now 99.8. And that will continue to go down, as far as I know, for as long as this is actually not hooked up. And you see on the back we've got a couple of small ports and we've got a large port on the top. The one we really actually need here is the small ports. So I'm just going to build a brief bridge because my hydrogen is going to keep running out, well, because I don't have bottles. So I can go up and stand on here. Now, there's a few options here. The one thing I'm actually looking for is an air vent. And there are a few kinds. What's the difference between you and you? You cost a lot more. Oh well, I'll take the cheap one. And I could just plug it onto the back here. But this depends really whether I'm going to feed other stuff in. So for the moment, I'm just going to leave that aside for a second. For a second, and I'm going to put in a couple of these. So these will let us go in all directions. And I'm probably going to put one, well, I wonder if I can fit one like this. And then I can put the air vent on the back of that, maybe. Do I have to turn it around? Yep, looks like I do. There we go, air vent. I won't weld up at the rest of it. Well, there's the irony in trying to weld up a welding ship. But that's fine. Should be okay. And we're just going to weld up these small conveyors. I get close enough anyway. There we go. And then I can use the curved sections to go between these. Something like this and this. So that should give access to the cockpit to the air vent. The air vent itself, however, needs to be configured, and we don't. I wonder if I can get access to it from this port. Looks like I can. Air vent you want to set to depressurize. I know that sounds weird, but it's not going to depressurize the cockpit. It's going to depressurize the planet, I think. Don't worry, we're not going to run out of air. But basically it's going to pull air in. That's what depressurize does, because normally this is inside a building that's sealed. So depressurize would evacuate the atmosphere. In this case, we want to do the same, but we want it to pull into the cockpit. So hopefully this, well, it depends. I don't have no power yet, so that's, you know, by the by. Yeah, oxygen's 98.1, so we'll wait till we got some power. Off this, I need to build some system for mounting welders on either side, and I don't know quite what size these are. So let's just, for a second, let's just dump some of these outwards. Let's see what size the welders are by comparison. So they are kind of like the default welders, the default size. for those. And they have a large port, and it doesn't look like they have a small port because welders take components, and components can't travel through this size of conveyor. You can put ores through this size of conveyor, so they're ideal for drills, but for components you have to go for the large ones, which is what I kind of expected pretty much from the start. So we need to get the welders fed with a system. So I'm going to need them to be unobstructed on the back, which means I'm probably going to need to mount them at the top or the bottom. Let's have a look at them again. What do you guys think? What do you think would fit best? We could go here directly alongside the cockpit. Hopefully that shouldn't that shouldn't cause problems with the cockpit itself and clearance. Let's just put the one down either side. I wonder how that actually looks. Well, they're definitely going to go be either side of us, so I guess that looks cool. Yeah. And then we're going to need to feed from those from a cargo can. So we're going to need a cargo can of some description. In this case, because we're carrying components, medium or small, I wonder. We can't use small because it only has small ports. So medium. Yeah, there we go. So we've got potentially two rear... Well, we've got a front and a back port that's the small kind, so we can hook those up to the small conveyor system in front of us. So if I put down another couple this side, just temporarily, and if I remove the... Well, do I need to remove it? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Don't worry, I'm not going mad. I'm planning this out in my head. I want a small conveyor back again. Because I need to mount this in the middle of this container. Something like that. And then we have the cargo can itself, which is going to go behind that. Something like there. And is that one block size? It looks to be over one block size, so maybe I need another conveyor. So we go for the straight section, and then we can put in two of the curved sections on either side, linking. Well, helps if I choose the right thing. We want to turn that around and then rotate it like that, and on the other side the same, like that. And then we can put our large cargo can in here in the middle. So then we just need the large conveyors, which are these ones. You could use, you know, the conveyor block itself, but they're a bit more expensive. So if you get the opportunity, you can just go for these. And then 7 and there. No, not there. Wow, is that offset as well? It is offset as well, and it looks like, because that's the line with this, I can't do that. Why? Why? What? Yeah, so if I want that right next to the cockpit, I either have to extend it out, or I end up with something asymmetric, and I don't like asymmetry. So, okay, fine. That's only one block space at the moment, which means I need to move the welder out by 2. Because the small blocks, in case you didn't know, are actually 3 times smaller than the large blocks. So we'd want something like this. Oh, I've put the welder away, of course I have. So we'd have to have it mounted here instead of on side, which it doesn't like... Oh. And that's mounted behind the cockpit. That might... No. See, now it's fine with the cargo can, and that should connect, but that may actually be too far back. So let's put it a couple more forward. In fact, it needs to be 3 forward, I think. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then back to this again. Wow, you really don't like being connected to anything further forward, do you? Is that enough? Okay, so will this work? 8. 1 there, 1 there, and now you'll connect, won't you? Hopefully. Yes, now you'll connect. So how does that look from inside? Yeah, still okay. The main thing I don't know is if the range of this thing is going to cover all the way to the centre of the craft. If it does, then this is absolutely fine. If it doesn't, then it's not absolutely fine. So what I'm probably going to do is mount this. I'm going to remove these blocks out of the way, but first I have to put blocks in on the underneath of this, like this, and bring them all the way over. Just so I've got something that securely mounts this welder to the rest of the ship before I remove the stuff that's kind of ugly, that's either in between the cockpit and the welder, which we don't really want. Ah, no, we're just running out of hydrogen. Yeah, fine, hydrogen. So now we've got to figure out, obviously I'll do that on the other side, but I'll do that off camera. Now we've got to figure out, wrong thing, how to place our thrusters, or what we're going to do with thrusters. Again, it only has, it's an atmospheric welder. We're not going to try and go into space with this thing. But because we're having to have these large welder blocks, we do have quite a bit of room to maneuver. What I was wondering is if, once I mount this, could I put the atmospheric thrusters in here? Because that'd be kind of cool if I could fit it. Let's just crouch down. Hopefully that won't fall off. Okay, so is this securely mounted? We're about to find out. Yeah, and how about you? Can I get rid of you? Yay, now will our thruster fit in there? Or more importantly, will 2 fit in there? Probably, you know, knowing me. Yeah. Probably not. Oh no, wait, that looks just like the right fit. So maybe mounted mid like that. That looks like it's fine, although it could be... No, that looks fine. I think that's probably where we want it. And again, just to put this back, I could then put these here. You probably can't see those from the cockpit, but it just makes the whole structure a little bit stronger, which is always a great thing. So with 2 thrusters like that, we've just got to fit in, you know, the normal other thrusters. And to be honest, there's not a great deal to deal with. We could put a few on the top. That would work. We've got the top of this to work with, so we could work with those. I just want the least obstructive kind of thrusters that we can get to, and that may even be just below the cockpit here, actually. So if we have side-to-side thrusters down here, maybe. So if I turn that, and remember, you can face these to each other. It's not going to cause any damage. Well, not much damage, really. Or in fact, no, because they're facing the other direction. I'm still assuming that this doesn't cause damage from the exhaust. If anyone wants to correct me, the comments are below. Let me know. And yeah, because the normal hydrogen ones I would expect to damage, and so the ion ones, but these are just fans. So Let's hope not, anyway, otherwise I'll blow off both welders, so to speak. Majority view. And then I'm now going to just go and finish, I think, front and back. What I would probably do is just put those... there isn't a real place. Back should be easy enough because I can put them something like here. And the same on the other side. Forward... Forward I'll put on once I've actually done the rest of the actual welding. So, let's jump forward. Alright, so a little bit of a change. I had the cargo can at the back, but that wouldn't work because the cargo cans... well, basically they only have two ports, two large ports, and if I put the large ports facing this way and this way, I couldn't get the connector on it onto it to load stuff in. So this is a large conveyor block, but when you put it on a ship like this, you get 4 of these large ones, and 2 facing the sides, and 1 up and 1 down. And the one down I've put a slim connector on, and then back and forward you've got these small ports. And if we look on over the front here, you'll see that one of them's connected into this array. Not that they particularly are needed exactly, no. But those ports are. So what I'm going to do, I think, is put reactors on them. And I don't need reactors yet, or I can't use reactors yet because I don't have any uranium, but eventually that's what they're for. And you can build using the ships, but I've got a feeling that if you need to do that, I have to connect this up to this so that I can get access to components from within the cockpit. I'm not going to need it yet, I don't think, because I'm just using it for mass stuff, but I wanted to leave that possibility open, so that's why that's there, just in case I need to expand that in the future. I've put 2 backwards facing thrusters in there just to slow us down. We now need to place forward facing thrusters, and in fact the sideways ones should be best built up at the moment. So we've got sideways, we've got backwards, we need forwards really, and we've got up and down. The ship is going to be tipped forward when it's pointing like this, but that should be kind of okay with the various coverage. I can always put more thrusters on to try and cover that. So we do want some forward thrusters, and I don't need particularly great ones. So what I'm going to do first actually is mount the batteries, because I think we've got just enough room to squeeze in a battery. One in here maybe. Yeah, you see it just up there? So I've put you there. Like that. That's one, and then I probably want a second one. I probably will be able to fit it here because the eventually the passage that goes here. Well, I suppose maybe not. I've got enough material to remake this if I have to, so I can try and jam that down there, but. You know, something like this. But I don't think I've got space. So, instead I'm just going to put it on top somewhere. There isn't room underneath here, really. No, because I've got the connector there, right there, remember? So I can't really put it here. It'll block the connector in. Unless I want a large connector instead of a slim connector. There's nowhere really to put this thing. Yeah, for now I'm just going to put it. I'm just going to put it here, and then for the moment, again, I'm probably going to put the thrusters just pretty much anywhere on here. You know, and we'll redesign later if we need to. So I'm just going to put them on top of here for now. 3 of them. And I'm out of motors, which is fairly common. That I'm just going to be out of power cells, which I need 20 for that one and 20 for this one. And you know what? I'm going to need some way to recharge this thing, aren't I? I could put a merge block there, but that's not going to help the conveyor system. I could put it here instead, maybe. Yeah, I'll figure that out later. When it's getting low on power, I will figure that one out. In the meantime, let's just grab some more motors. And we want some more power cells on build. So where are we? Power cells. I've got 30, so I want an extra 10, please. Assuming that fits in my inventory, of course. There we go. Yeah, I'm out of hydrogen. Fine. So what do you think of the build? Any of you guys actually play Space Engineers? If you do, feel free to critique. Add a comment below. And, you know, we'll see where we get to on this one. There we go. Oops. Again, I'm not too worried about issues surrounding this at the moment because I now have silicon, and silicon lets me make more power cells. More power. Speaking of which, we're done with the batteries. And if this thing is powered up, sounds like it is. Landing gear, atmospheric thrusters, they should all be on, so let's just try and cut ourselves from underneath it. There we go, and they're on. So now we have our ship, and we have the ability to look inside. What we're going to do is, first of all, how much power have I got? 25 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to put a merge block on this fairly soon, because I can get power that way on the bottom. That means I probably will have to replace that connector with a large one. So let's just do that now. Merge block. And, well, I'll leave the connector alone for now. Like that. And yeah, it's a bit heavier. But it should let me recharge the thing up there. So let's just head over that way. Oh. Some of you may have figured out what I forgot. And for those of you, well done. Yeah. There's one vital thing that you need on a ship like this. If you don't have them, you can't turn. At all. So I'm going to put 4 in. I might be overkill, but I'm not sure what the weight's going to be like once we have all the components in there. Probably not too bad. I just need construction components and steel plates. Let's go and get them. Construction components. First of all, steel plates. More. And more of you, please. Don't know how many I actually need. But I really do need to find silver and uranium soon. They both are on planets. The thing that isn't on planets, as far as I know, is platinum, and that is for ion thrusters. So just bear that in mind if you're looking around for platinum. You're probably not going to find it. There we go. 1 gyro. 2. 3 and 4. And just because, I'm just going to head in here for a second and put the welders, whoops, just the welders, into a welders group. And then we're going to put that, in fact I'm just going to hide them. Show locking terminal off, welder group, that's fine. Go into the G menu, go to groups, grab the welders, and then toggle block on off. Okay, and then let's head out for a second, go over the top. And let's, how am I going to load this thing? It's on the ground now. Yes, it's not going to let me get to it without the connector. Oh. Okay, get to the connector for a second, because I just want to test this out. If I just put some of those in, and then go into the cockpit, and then point down, in fact, oh, wow. Yeah, I may need to stabilize this a little bit more. But will you... Yeah, you got enough range for that. Ow, wow. Yeah, so these can both get to the middle. So that's exactly what I want. But I'm just going to have to be a bit concerned about tipping it forward too much. Yeah. If any of you have any ideas about solutions to that, feel free to let me know. So we got 20 minutes left, so let's go and see if I can land this thing roughly on here. A lot easier to do this in cockpit, of course, once you've got a cockpit, rather than just sitting in one of those seats. So you're roughly around the right place. And then, you know, you can just go into third person and decide what you want to do from there. Down, please. Why? Ah, there you are. You're locked. Okay, so batteries. This one and this one. We're going to set to recharge mode. Recharge in 11 minutes. And we're done. In fact, I probably need to... Oh, shit. Don't leave the welders on. You will kill yourself. I have a solution for that one. I'll show you in the next episode. But just bear that one in mind. In fact, let's do it now. Okay, so the solution for that one, first of all, is to put something in place. And I forgot to rename that merge block before I put it on here. That's going to annoy any second when I try and remove the merge block, but that's okay. What was I going to do? Yeah, we want to make something new. I just want to check to make sure if we have the components for it more than anything else. It's called a sensor. It's a vanilla item, so you don't have to worry about it. Radio communication components and detector components. Hopefully I have some of those. Radio communication components, detector components. I should have somewhere. I will figure it out. Interior plate, though, to actually build this thing. What this basically does is exactly what it sounds like. It allows you to sense various things. So you can use it like for sensing ships to close doors or open doors, like a huge airlock or something along those lines. Or more mundane uses like turn the welders off when I get near them. Because, yeah, I have that tendency to kill myself quite easily using these things. So yeah, I need detector components and some steel plate. I could have sworn I had some of those. Let's have a look. Detector. Detector. I guess not. Maybe I used them all with all the ore, and I wonder if I've got... Ah, it's just iron and nickel. Well, fine. That's not going to be a problem. And some iron plate would be handy. Do I have any? No, I guess we're going to make some of that as well. That will do for now. So, let's just weld it up, and then we should be able to configure it from the inside. So let's just get in, go to the sensor, and then the extent, well, it depends on the range of the welders. So I'm going to say, like, you know, pretty much up to the 20 mark. And that should be good enough, because I'm not on a multiplayer server. This is where you want to be multiplayer, because what you probably will do with this, it uses more power the larger the area. So the back you probably will have down, because that doesn't matter. The top and the bottom again shouldn't matter as much, but left, right, and front may well do, because of these welders being quite large range. So just bear that in mind. There's a proximity alert, detect players is what we want. See how you can detect all these other things? So that means you can like close up your station if an enemy ship comes along and stuff like that. So yeah, but in our case, set up actions, groups, and then we should be able to just drag this to toggle block. Off. I can't remember which way around this is. One of these buttons at the bottom is for when something is detected, and the other one is when it's for not detected. So if I get this the wrong way around, it's going to turn on every time I'm nearby. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Let's Let's see. Okay, so if I move further away, see they've come on? And if we get closer, they go off. Kind of cool, right? Yep, cool. So I shouldn't be able to kill myself now. And let's see what happens if I turn off. Will they come back on? Yeah, they will. Okay, so just bear that in mind. There may be a solution for that. I don't have one. Oh, no. I don't have one right away, but I will look for a solution to see if there's another override for that. So if I've set it off, don't set it back to on again. And that's pretty much it for this episode. That thing is fine. I just need some final tweaking to the connector. Just like this cargo can that I renamed at the start of the episode to say small ingot. I should be able to say something along the lines of small components. I don't know, 500 or let's say 300, and then something like steel override for steel plates, and I can sort that one out. So if I did that, will that actually start pulling in? Yeah, there we go. So it's pulled in 300 of every component, and that's what we're going to do on the cargo cans in that ship, and then that will then let us dock, automatically refill, and head out welding. Hope you like the episode. It's a pretty cool ship, I think. I'm just going to correct up that merge block and the connector, and we should be done for now, at least until I find uranium. Then I'll redesign the ship a bit to cover with the uranium. For now, that will let me charge up there. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. Otherwise, feel free to subscribe or follow me on Twitter if you prefer that method to see my announcements of new videos. Otherwise, just let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see next. If you're following along or are about to play Space Engineers for the first time, hopefully this gives you a good introduction. But we'll see how well we go in the next episode, when we're probably going to start using that ship to build, well, first of all, a bigger base, but second of all, when we get onto larger ships, that will come in handy a great deal. Probably the ships we end up going into space with, we don't want to actually do manually. So, I'll see you next episode, and thanks for watching.